No matter what's going on, never trust the blocks. This is the first line that I found in a book in an old chest in an abandoned Minecraft server. See, a few days ago, one of my friends hit me up. He told me that there was some Discord server that he got into. And apparently, inside the Discord server, there's some bot that when entering your Minecraft username, whitelists you on an old Minecraft server. But here's the thing. The server had apparently been shut down by Mojang, but now it was somehow back up. After hearing this, I was of course super interested. So I asked him how I could get into the server. Unfortunately, the invite link didn't seem to work anymore, but thankfully, Cal was kind enough to set up everything for me. So after entering my username and sending me the IP, I was ready. Well, that's what I thought, at least. After loading onto the server for the first time, I realized two things immediately. One is that there was floating grass everywhere, which by all means should have gotten destroyed by the Minecraft physics engine. And second is that I was immediately placed in adventure mode, making me completely unable to break any blocks. There was also a bulletin board placed in front of what seemed like some sort of base. On it, there were two signs asking for someone to get more iron and to clear some zombies that were left in the mine. So I started looking around a bit to get a good idea of the surrounding area. And after just a couple minutes, I found some sort of wooden structure. Maybe the mine that they were talking about? Okay, they said that there were zombies in there, so I'm not going to take a look around just yet, but I think the surrounding area still needs a little bit of a look around. I don't know what it is with the server, but like the fog is insane. These chunks not loading? Oh. Wait, I don't think there's any chunks here at all. I think this is just where it cuts off. Look, there's still water floating over there, so that means that if it's flowing, this is where the world ends. After discovering that I was basically on a floating island, I decided to stick closer to the main base and start my investigation there. The first thing I noticed after entering the house is that there were 4 separate rooms, each with a sign above the entrance showing whose it was. Well, all except one. Somehow, blocks in the room with no name had been corrupted, which usually has to do with some sort of chunk loading error or a modding compatibility. But neither of those seemed to be the case here. If it was a chunk loading error, then we wouldn't be able to interact with the front door, which would have prevented us from even entering the building at all. And it can't be a modding compatibility issue either, because the server is completely vanilla. So that leaves us with only one option. There's been an intentional data manipulation on the server, which means that someone was probably trying to cheat in items, likely whoever stayed in this room. Okay, bro. I don't want to touch these blocks. Right in here, we just got some building materials, and then... What the hell? Bro, it's just a bunch of almost broken items, man. Okay, what do we got here? So there's stone swords, pickaxes, axes, and a shovel. Huh, okay. All right, let me get my notebook and actually figure this out and start writing some of this down. So, tools, durability, they're all stone. I don't know if that has any significance, but I'm gonna write it down anyways. There's 4 tools, like there's no like hoe or anything. It's just sword, pickaxe, axe, and shovel. Okay, so 4 tools. All of them are orange or in the red for durability, almost broken. Wait. The durability. Wait, hold on. I think it's F3H. Yeah, advanced tooltips shown. Okay, now I should be able to see the durability. Okay, 1, 2, 6, 10. Wait, these don't go over like 30 something. Okay, this one's got a 30. I don't know what this means. I think this has something to do with like the durability of the weapons. Whoever left this here obviously wanted there to be some sort of message, something encrypted that like only someone smart enough would actually be able to figure out. Huh. But why even encrypt it? This find opened up 2 things. One is that someone was obviously trying to hide something from some of the other players on the server. And 2 is that whatever it is that is clearly being hidden here had to be something that was worth hiding in the first place. But before we get into that, let's backtrack a little bit. Earlier in the recording, in Faye's room, I found a book. Okay, Faye's room. Book. No matter what's going on, never trust the blocks. They aren't always what they appear to be. Sometimes they change without you or anyone else doing anything. That's what we thought, at least. By the way, if you want the rest of my stuff, go to -390 40. So we learn a few things from this book. Apparently, something's wrong with the blocks in this world, which already has been pretty apparent thus far. But more importantly is what's on the second page. Faye, or whoever placed this book in Faye's chest, left some coordinates where presumably some of her old loot was kept hidden. But what's weird about this is that the coordinates that were left are completely unable to be accessed in this current version of the world. You see, the coordinates are far outside where the world ends, which means two things. First is that the server wasn't always limited to the small floating island, and second, and more importantly, this book was written after the surrounding area had been removed, which creates a solid chronology that we can now base all of our future findings off of. Now, there was actually one more code aside from the durability cipher that was hidden throughout the base. In each of the chests in everyone's room, aside from the room with no name, there were 2 items of varying quantities. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 items. Okay, the most logical thing is just order it by how many there are. Okay, there does seem to be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type thing going on. So if we do that, then it leaves us with this. Dirt, orange wool, nether sprouts, this doesn't make any sense. Okay, this obviously seems to be some sort of cipher. Okay, let's see. So what do we have? Block. All these are blocks. Okay, then there's a normal item. Wait, the lettering. Okay, so dirt starts with a D. Let me get my notebook back out. Okay, if we take the first letter from each of these, we got D-O-N-T-G-O-D-O-W-N. Okay, D-O-N-T-G-O-D-O-W-N. Don't go down. Don't go down. Okay, what does that even mean? Don't go down. Like, trapdoor? Was this here before? I don't remember. Okay, we can open it, but I can't see what's down there. That's a cobblestone floor right there. And we can't break anything to get down there because we're in adventure mode still. Alright, I guess that's not accessible then. Now, while we may not be able to access the trapdoor, this clue does tell us that there's something possibly dangerous down there. Now, circling back to the durability cipher, we're left with this. Okay, so obviously these items aren't random. Their types have to matter. So for now, let's just assume that them being stone has no significance, and let's just look at the tools themselves. Right now, I'm thinking maybe the tools are some sort of symbol. Like, so if we look at a sword, this could be like a down and to the left type arrow, a pickaxe being like an up and to the right type arrow, an axe being a down to the right type arrow, but then we're still left with the shovel. So that makes that theory pretty much null. Also, if we think about it through the symbol route, then it still doesn't make a whole lot of sense because that still ignores the whole durability thing, which I'm pretty certain that the number for the durability has a lot of significance here. Now, because these only seem to generally go up to 26 outside of what seems to be just the stone shovel, I'm thinking that these have something to do with the alphabet, so lettering. Now, the stone shovel obviously being some sort of, random factor here, we can just sort of ignore for now. So let's just assume that the swords, pickaxes, and axes have something to do with lettering, the alphabet. The obvious solution here is we look at something like the stone sword, we see that it's a 1, and we just say it's an A. The issue here is when we start to get into the other tools. What's the difference between a sword saying 1 and a pickaxe saying 1? My first thought is that it probably has something to do with capitalization. So maybe the sword is a lowercase a and the pickaxe is maybe an uppercase B. However, once again, we still have the axe, which throws things off a bit. So if we already have uppercase letters and lowercase letters handled, then the most likely option is that this last tool represents, well, numbers. Now, the thing with that is because the sword, pickaxes, and axes are all, in relative equal quantity, this can't decode into just another message unless it's a whole nother cipher, which means that it's also probably a link to something. So we'll write that down and we'll keep that in mind for now, but I think it's time for us to finally start decoding. So let's start with our first theory. Swords equals lowercase, pickaxe equals uppercase, and axes equals numbers. That still leaves us with a shovel, so for the sake of argument, let's just say shovel equals question mark. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through this really quick and decode what this would be. Okay, this way we have a 33 character code that just translates to this, and I'll just put that on screen here. Now, this looks like the ending sequence to a link to, well, pretty much anything. A YouTube video, a ChatGPT thread, a drive maybe, and without even knowing if this is the right code, like the pickaxe could mean numbers and the sword could mean uppercase letters, the potential for what this could mean seems pretty endless. So we have to narrow things down a bit. So for now, let's stick to what we know so we can take take this, put it at the end of a Google Drive link, and error. YouTube video maybe, also an error, and a ChatGPT link, also nothing. Now, what I think the important thing to remember here is that this is supposed to be decoded. This was obviously left here by somebody, maybe whoever stayed in this room, maybe whoever did this to the room, possibly the same person, but this is meant to be decoded. So I can't imagine that this is meant to go to some obscure website. I think by limiting ourselves to these 3 different websites, YouTube, ChatGPT, and Google Drive, I think that's where we're most likely to find something. So let's just decode this again, but switch out what the tools represent. This time I'm thinking we use the sword as a number, the pickaxe as the lowercase letter, and the axe as the uppercase letter. I'm also going to try switching the character for the shovel around. It could be something like a slash or an underscore maybe. So yeah, I'm just going to continue decoding this over and over and over until we have something actually tangible. Okay, so after sitting here for an uncomfortable amount of time, I think I found something. Yeah, so it was a drive link. This ended up being the full link, and it led me to somewhere called the Chaos SMP, which contains a video called Day 4. Now, this all obviously had me asking more than a few questions. Who made this drive? Are they the same person that lived in the room with the corrupted blocks? Why hide this footage to begin with? And what exactly is the Chaos SMP? After opening the footage, we seem to be watching from the perspective of whoever lived in the room at the end of the hallway at the top floor. Something's already wrong. This version of the bulletin board is not the same that we found when we logged onto the server. And what's even stranger is that this version of the bulletin board seems to take place after the one that we found. And that's where the footage ends. But there may have been a couple of things that you missed. So going back to earlier in the footage, 3 things are made apparent aside from the bulletin board anomaly. First, as I'm sure you already noticed, the player's name is blacked out in the chat. Now, this could be used just to protect this player's information, though I find that unlikely because, as far as we know, the only way to even access this footage is through the durability cipher that we found on the server. And everyone that had access to the server would be able to see this player's name anyways. Also, our cameraman here seemed friendly enough with his neighbor to steal from her, so they likely already knew each other personally anyways. So then, why black out your name? Who are you trying to hide yourself from? Right now, we don't know. But what's even more concerning than this is what I found next. If we go back to after the torches were snuffed out in the mine, on our cameraman's trip back home, There seems to be someone watching him from the upstairs window, but who? And what's even weirder is that when we continue the footage, it's as if nobody was ever there. So who is this mysterious figure? Did he have anything to do with the torches going out in the mine? Again, things seem unclear. The last thing that we're given before our cameraman logs off is this. Someone has been in Faye's room. We know this because at the start of the footage, there wasn't this 16 cobblestone in the chest. Aside from this, there's not much more to pick apart from the footage. And seeing as it was getting late and my brain was absolutely fried from solving all these different ciphers all day, I decided to log off and just leave the rest for tomorrow. I woke up early the next day, hoping to get a head start on my investigation. Except, as I go to log onto the server, I'm met with this. A message. You'll never find him. He's gone now. Was this message intended for me? As far as I know, I'm the only person that's been on the server in quite some time. And I'm not even sure who he is, so could this really be for me? And that's not all. The server profile icon has also changed. It seems to be text of some kind. So after taking a screenshot of it and translating it to English, we're given this. Help me. Immediately, this message strikes me as odd because it gives the exact opposite stance that the server message did. It's almost as if the server icon's message and the actual server message were created by two different people. As we go on, our questions only seem to multiply more and more. So today, we need to make sure that we're getting the answers that we're after, or we might never find out what happened on this server. As I load into the server, the first thing that I notice is that the bulletin board has changed again. This time, it only has the messages about the iron, the zombies in the mine, and... wait. The griefer? I can't believe I didn't notice it before. Back in the footage that we found when our cameraman was looking at the bulletin board, there was a new sign asking the other players on the server to get rid of the griefer. Could this griefer be whoever was watching our cameraman on his way home? Well, this all got me thinking, what else have I missed? So I went back and not only went over the footage in the drive again, but also my own footage. And right at the beginning of my recording, I found something. As I run by in the lower left corner, there's a dark figure staring at me. But how didn't I notice him? And why did it not show him as online? After all, it showed the server having 0 other players both before and after I logged on the first time. So who is this player? Is he the griefer on the server? Is he the same person that was watching our cameraman in the footage that we found? We'll get our answers soon enough. But for now, we need to take note of another change to the bulletin board. You see, this one doesn't exactly match either of the other two that we've already seen. No, this one takes place after the one that we found and before the one in the footage. So now our job is to fill in the blanks. What happened on the server in between the footage that we found and our experience so far? After entering the base, I immediately searched all the rooms. This time they seemed actually lived in. They had blocks, food, normal stuff that players would keep in their chests. Well, everyone except Ben, who for some reason had both chests completely empty. Apart from this, there were 2 other massive changes to the world. One is that the surrounding area seemed to have been recovered. No more corrupted chunks. That means that we can venture out to the coordinates that Faye had left in her book and find whatever it was that she had left in her stash. Aside from this, there was one other big change in the base. Finally, we're given a name. Mikey, our cameraman, and the player that lived at the end of the hall on the top floor, the room with the corrupted blocks. After entering Mikey's room, things immediately looked different. No corrupted blocks, the chest in the corner that previously had the durability cipher was gone, and this. 32 candles, a broken elytra, 64 feathers, and a booking quill. At first glance, these items seem to have no correlation to one another. But after further inspection, the true meaning becomes difficult to ignore. This is an obvious reference to Icarus from Greek mythology, whose cautionary tale of flying too close to the sun is often used as an analogy for greed. So was this a threat of some kind? A warning? Well, after opening and reading the book, things become more clear.
I know what you've been up to. Stop now or there will be consequences.
Okay, well, it's definitely a threat, but why? Did Mikey do something? And who is it that he's pissed off enough to warrant leaving a message like this in his room? Right now, our best course of action is to venture out to face Cash. Maybe there we'll finally get some of the answers that we're looking for.
Stop looking for him. He is gone. He's not coming back. Don't play dumb, Alex. You have no power here anymore. The server is mine. Give up.
What? Who the hell is Benji? Ben? I thought that the server had been abandoned, but I guess not. It's obvious now, looking at them side by side, that this is the same person that was stalking Mikey. And their disappearance during the footage makes a lot more sense now too. Ben is the griefer. He's the one that's been corrupting the world. At first, I thought that it might have been Mikey. I mean, after all, the corrupted blocks were in his room. But now, I'm starting to think that Ben did something to Mikey. Our only hope now is that Faye somehow knew about all of this. So we continue on to her cache. All right, so we're pretty much at the chords. It's like a little bit in this direction over here. There doesn't seem to be anything right here though. -39040, so that's exactly here. But there's nothing. I wonder if Ben's gotten to it already. I mean, like, this has been on the server for a while. Wait, there's something wrong with this lava pool. This isn't naturally generated. I'm thinking that there might be something underneath the lava. There's a missing lava block right there. There's definitely something down there. Someone interacted with this. But if we're wrong, then we could lose everything. Our spawn resets, we have no idea what's going to happen. I think we just have to risk it. Oh no. Oh! Pool. Is this what we were meant to find? Is this face cache? There's nothing here. Except the book. The library has been destroyed. I'm leaving now. There's no hope for us anymore. I'm sorry I couldn't save you, Mikey. What? That's it? After all this? This is all that's left? It looks like Ben's gotten to it almost. Like it's completely destroyed and empty. Wait. Carpets. I knew it! Okay, what happened to... What the hell? Okay, I'll just follow this, I guess. Oh my lord. The hell is this place, dude? Book. I can't take this anymore. Mikey is gone. Alex hasn't been online for months. Ben has gone completely mad with power. How the hell is he even doing all of this? I wish things could go back to the way that they were before everything started. Before Ben had control. Before I had to solve all of these puzzles just to survive. I miss you so badly, Mikey. I never would have thought that things would end up this way. You should have just told me what Ben was up to. Why did he make me go through all of this? I can't stay here anymore. There's nowhere else to go. Now all that I'm left with is the sorry memories of what once was. Goodbye. A link. So, it seems that Mikey had been making all of these ciphers for Faye, slowly showing her the truth of who Ben really was. But by the time that she found out, it was already too late. Mikey was gone. Corrupted. But that's nothing compared to what I'm about to show you. After opening the link, we're taken to a photo where Mikey, Ben, and likely Faye are standing, except they're not alone. Cal? Cal is Alex? I mean, I thought that it was strange that he hit me up on Discord out of the blue after we hadn't talked in forever, and it was weird that I couldn't get invited to the Discord server, but I didn't think anything of it at the time. But as hard as all of this is to believe, it does make sense. From what we can tell from Faye's journal, Alex had been gone for months, and during all of that time, Ben has somehow figured out how to cheat on the server, corrupting it all the while. Corrupting Mikey. After corrupting Mikey's player data, he had become a ghost on the server, and that's why it never showed him as online when he was watching me before. That's who was reaching out to us through the server icon. Of course, as Mikey started catching on to Ben, Mikey became a target, with Ben first giving him the warning in his chest, comparing him to Icarus, saying that Mikey was flying too close to the sun, getting too close to the truth. So when Mikey reached out to us, the language that we had to translate it from was Greek, playing into Ben's characterization of him. Mikey was leading us to him, but that still leaves a few questions unanswered. What's with the timeline on the server? How do we keep going back and forth in time? And the bigger question, what's under the trap door? After finding the book, I logged off the server and sent Cal a message. This isn't over. Yeah, what it do? If you guys like this video and you want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, you should totally hit one of these boxes over here. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye-bye!